let's go through the groups as we do. People will see the odds on the screen there, but for the odds to win the tournament for these teams. But Group A, this is Friday night's game, Italy and Turkey, which we all can't wait for. There's nothing like the opening of a tournament. But Italy, Switzerland, who we know very well from our qualifying campaign, Kevin, Turkey, and Wales, who we haven't talked about at all as well. So Wales, for Wales, I think, lads, it's not quite like where it was a couple of years ago, and they're probably in Scotland's position where they still have the few good players. But I think it's great that they've qualified, but I can't see them repeating what they did for five years ago, as it was in Euro 2016.
No, I agree with you there. I think, again, tough to get out of this group. Turkey are going to be decent as well. They had a good qualifying campaign. You'd imagine Italy would get through. Switzerland were all right in our group. Obviously, they're way better than us in the top of the group. But yeah, listen, it's I can't see Wales getting there. I went through their squad as well, and a bit like Scotland. Centre forwards like Scotland were only had three named centre forwards in a 26-man squad, and relying a lot on Che Adams. Wales have lost a good lot of players since that. When their golden era, I suppose. Gareth Bale, in fairness, showed a fair bit of sparks of former form coming near the end of the season. You're going to rely so much on him. We seem to play Wales every second week there a few years ago, and he was the difference between us and them nearly every game. He'd be quiet and he'd just decide to do something and you couldn't stop him, and he'd real game changer. And without him, and they haven't really had him the last few years without him, they're not the same team. If he turns up though, he's transfer-wise looking for a move, maybe look to show a bit of form, said maybe he'll be fit and want to put on a show. If he decides he wants to put on a show, he has the ability to do it and drag them through the group stage.
Yeah. Gabby, do you think they have a chance of qualifying?
I don't think so. I just look at that group. Turkey, they're a decent side. Italy are playing some good football now. With Jorginho in the middle. I just think that Wales, they've got good players. You look at Gareth Bale. You look at some of the other players that they've got. But for me, defensively, I look at Wales, and when they had that golden era, they had like Ashley Williams back there. James Collins played some games, James Chester, but Neil Taylor, don't forget these players. I just think defensively it might cost them. So I don't see them getting out of the group, but I can see some worldy goals from Gareth Bale.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if he gets a couple of worldy goals, they'll get out of the group, hopefully. But Group B is, I don't know how interesting it is, because we all think that Belgium are going to walk it, but we've seen enough of Denmark over the last few years to know that they're dangerous. Finland, there'll be a bit of a rivalry there, you'd imagine, and Russia, who we kind of don't know what to expect from one tournament to the other. Belgium are third favourites to win the tournament, 13-2. You've got Lukaku, second favourite for top goal scorer on Ladbrokes, 13-2. You've got De Bruyne, second favourite for player of the tournament on Ladbrokes at 9-1. A lot of people are expecting a lot of Belgium. This is kind of what I was talking about earlier in terms of they're a team that know their best team, but you still think, even though De Bruyne has taken over as the main man on that, and we hear he's going to be fit despite his unfortunate broken face that he got in the Champions League. But they also do need Eden Hazard to come back to some kind of form, don't they? I mean, it's not going to be enough if it's just De Bruyne and Lukaku and Tielemans and these guys. Gabby.
Yeah, I look at Belgium, outstanding team, but they need Hazard, like you said. They need Hazard on top of his game, because if I'm playing against Belgium, I'm trying my hardest to mark, put someone on Kevin De Bruyne, maybe even double up, stop him playing with Lukaku. But Belgium, for me, defensively, they're not as good as they used to be as well. Vertonghen, Vermaelen, Alderweireld from Spurs, they're not as good as they used to be. So for me, I don't see Belgium winning it at all. I think England and France and Portugal are a lot stronger.
Yeah, I don't know what you think, Kevin. I kind of feel the same. I kind of feel like that they might have slightly missed their moment. They might have two or three of the best players, but I don't know if they've got as good a 1-11 as a lot of the other top teams.
I think Hazard is the one for me. If he turns up again, a bit like Gareth Bale, he's had so many injuries at Real. It's been a disaster. But I just saw, I'm always looking. I just saw he was training the other day, maybe a week ago, and I saw him. And it's the first time I've actually seen him looking fit. He looked trim. I don't know. whatever about the kit at Real Madrid, he looked overweight since he's been there for me. And I've just seen him train with Belgium. I thought, geez, it's like Eden Hazard again. So maybe he's just trying to get himself right for this tournament. I imagine, or they'll try, by the talks, to try to offload him if they can. He'll be looking, he's a big player. He's a world-class player on his day. So he'll be looking to have a really good tournament. Lukaku will rely a lot on him and De Bruyne. Lukaku had a fantastic season at Inter. Again, talks to him going, looking to get a transfer maybe back to England. So, reasons for him to try have a fantastic tournament.
Don't you look at like Kevin, like a France though? If you name their 1 to 11, it's outrageous, isn't it? Yeah. And then you look at Belgium, and you probably name like 4 or 5, can't you? So that's probably the difference between them two for me.
Yeah, I know, but they're still #1 in the world, aren't they? They've got their group and finished first in their group. Martinez talks about how well organized and how much team spirit and how he's got them playing. Again, for him, he's sort of unproven at that sort of winning something, to be honest with you. And so it's a big tournament for him. I don't know. I like him. I like their attacking players. It's easy to list off their attacking players. We're centre forwards, Gabby. Come on. Imagine Hazard, De Bruyne, Lukaku turn up and have really.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Whatever about Belgium's offence, they'll be hard to stop if those 3 play well.
Yeah, we think they'll top the group, I presume. Although they've got 3 teams in there, in Denmark, Finland, and Russia, who'll, I think, make it dour for them. In a way. Who do you see getting out of it with them? Finland in their first ever tournament, of course.
I have Denmark down. I have Denmark or Russia to finish second. I don't know. Just with Ireland, we've been scarred by Denmark, aren't we? We've seen them playing well over recent years, and you're looking at Christian Eriksen as well. Probably hasn't had a great season. Well, saying that, he won a league, so it's a bit harsh, I suppose. But he's out of the limelight. We don't see him as much. You think he's not playing as well? He's playing fantastic. But again, relying on him to turn up. He turned up against Ireland in those group games. They were fantastic at the time, Denmark, and he was the difference. If he has a good tournament, if he has a good group stage, he can be the one that, make sure they finish in second.
Group C is interesting to me, mainly because of how I think it looks at least easy for the Netherlands. Like, I mean, they're in there with Austria, North Macedonia, and Ukraine. It's no disrespect to any of them, but I just noticed today that they are 16-1 on Ladbrokes, and they're well outside that sort of first tier. It's Portugal, Spain, Germany, Italy, Belgium, England, France are above them, and they're a good 9-1 or the lowest there in Portugal, and then Holland are on their own. And it's like, I don't feel like they're at that level yet, but they've enough danger in there, Gabby, that if they got it all together, you can't see them not popping this group, and then it's on from there,
Yeah, it's just strange, isn't it? Because this group of players under Ronald Koeman, they could probably beat anyone on their day. They look so together, organised, and they're really dangerous. But since Koeman's left and De Boer's gone in, they've not been the same. They've not had the greatest of results. I think he's struggling to find out his best team. Van Dijk is going to be a big loss. So for me, as much as they've got some good individuals, I think they're at them odds because they're not going to get to the latter stages. I feel like they'll get out of their group, but once they meet one of the big boys, they'll have too much for them.
Yeah. Memphis Depay 16-1 to be top scorer. He's very high up that list. So again, it might be just the easy group, but perhaps right. But at the same time, it just jumped out to me as a price. Group D, we already talked about a lot, lads. But I might just get a prediction off you: Croatia, Czech Republic, England, Scotland.
he'll say England bottom. He will. Don't ask him.
You know what? It's amazing, isn't it? If you finish top of Group D, you have a nightmare in the next round, don't you? So. I don't know. Well, it's so difficult to say, we don't finish top and we'll try finish A. You can't do that. But if England win that group, I think do they play either France, Germany, or Portugal?
Yeah.
So
it could be an early trip home.
It could be. Listen,
it is
true fault of our own. England are going home after the second round. Yeah, I don't know. I just wonder if that's going to be in their head. England and Southgate and all the technical staff, and you hear they think so deeply about stuff, and they do everything to try to maximise everything. And
but Kevin, you said in the World Cup, the game against Belgium, no one wanted to win it.
Yeah.
So I think that England are unlucky to face Croatia first. They could have done with playing Croatia last, beating Scotland and Czech Republic, then going for maybe a draw against Croatia to finish second. But we don't know how the group if France might go. France aren't guaranteed to finish top of that group. They've got tough games against Portugal and Germany. So I think England will take care of their own business. And then maybe, luckily, they might end up playing, well, is it lucky? Germany and Portugal are still good teams. So England have got a lot to do to get out, get past the second round.
I think if history has taught us anything, though, lads, it's the messing around trying to come in the right position to get them to draw. Just never, ever seems to work. Like, I think, I presume that they'll think that the best thing to do is just go out and win the games and let the chips fall as they may. Yeah. But I presume we think Croatia is going to get out as the second place team, and then it's between the Czechs and Scotland. Can we give Scotland third place? Come on.
Well, I have Croatia. I have Croatia down. Just looking at my notes here, I have Croatia down for second. They had a really good qualifying campaign. So listen, they're going to be a strong team. I have them down for second.
It's crazy though, isn't it? That three go through in each group. You might as well just have everyone go through.
Yeah. Three go through in 4 of the 6 groups. It does feel like it's harder to get knocked out than it is to stay in it.
It was like qualifying for the whole thing, wasn't it? It was harder not to qualify, and we managed it.
Yeah. We also were the beneficiaries of finishing third a couple of times, especially in Euro 2016 when we beat an Italy team already qualified. So we won't laugh at it too much here. But we are getting towards Group F, which we obviously want to talk about. But Group E quickly, Poland. With everybody wants to watch Lewandowski, 25-1, possibly the best striker in the world at the moment, 25-1 to be top goal scorer, and he's got Slovakia in there who are 400-1. The rank outsiders more than any other team, Kevin. They share it with Hungary and North Macedonia. They're the team that obviously knocked us out.
Yeah. We should have beat them.
Absolutely, yeah. And so should
we had the better chances in the game and got the penalties. So yeah, you'd have to be fearing for Slovakia based on that, I suppose, based on our form since then. Spain, I have Poland Spain down. Poland again eased into the tournament. Really good qualifying campaign. Lewandowski's just like another unbelievable season at his peak. I have Poland to top it and Spain second. Actually, I just think Poland. Yeah. Poland will. I just think they're strong around. I'm just looking at the results in their qualifying campaign and all their results leading up to it. I just think they're really strong. Talking about surprise, I don't know if it is a surprise or not. If you got Robin or Lewandowski in your team, not a surprise, but no, they're a decent team. Don't think they'll win it. I don't think they'll get to semi-finals. I think they'll be a quarter-final team.
In that case, if they do get to the quarter-final and they've got, and you do fancy them to finish top of the group, that Lewandowski at 25-1 to finish top scorer is a little bit tempting, actually. But Spain, I don't know if we know what to expect of Gabby. I feel like they're in that limbo of that we often get with sports great teams, where we expect them to be the same, even though they've got none of their players, etc. We expect them to be at that level forever, and they just need a rebirth. And we need this is a completely new team. We have to judge them on what they are now, not what they were 10 years ago. And I personally don't know what to expect from them.
Yeah, I'm similar with you. I mean, I've seen Fernan Torres from Man City plays for them. You've got Rodrigo, who I don't think made the tournament, but he's played for them. But they've got a lot of new players that a lot of people won't be aware of. You see Morata is captain in the side now, but you just don't know what to expect from this team. It's quite a bunch of new players, and because of that, I think that I wouldn't go with them to be one of the favourites. I think that there's a lot stronger teams out there.
Yeah. And no Real Madrid players in their squad.
From my ex-Barcelona manager.
Exactly, yeah. He played for both, didn't he? Group F then. This is the most ridiculous group in the history of football, of Euros anyway. Poor old Hungary have got France, Germany and Portugal. Talked about Portugal already, and Portugal are one of those teams that probably benefited from the extra year, because you got Jota, the form that he's in, you got Fernandez, you got Bernardo Silva from City is in completely different form than he was 12 months ago. You know, Ronaldo obviously will still be there and everything. And obviously they've got Ruben Diaz.
And the Wolves starting 11 as well. So.
They've got the Wolves starting 11 to choose from whenever they want. Yeah, and Ruben Diaz was Player of the Year in the Premier League this year. So they've got, like, I think they've been slightly...
Cancelo as well, right back. They've got
exactly, yeah, Cancelo. And they're being a little bit overlooked, I would say. But it's probably because they're in this group. And, like, if you look at France, lads, I mean, this is a team that won the World Cup. And all they've done since is Kante has probably become, you know, some of their players have even got any better, especially Kante. And they've replaced Olivier Giroud with Karim Benzema. That's not a bad way to build on a World Cup winning team.
I think it's just dangerous, aren't they? Like, you look at Mbappe, Griezmann, Dembele, Conan from Bayern Munich. Now you've got Giroud, some competition for him with Benzema. I mean, Pogba, Kante, Varane, Kimpembe. I mean, if you go through their whole team, I mean, like, you're frightened, aren't you? So if they all turn up, they've got tournament experience. That's a big thing as well that a lot of the England players haven't got, and maybe the German players. So if they all turn up with their experience, I mean, it's going to take a big performance to stop them winning it.
Yeah, I agree. I have France. France then as winners and Belgium as next.
What about England?
Because like they're in our group, right? And they, you know, we got stick Mick against Luxembourg, and Portugal played them a couple of days later, and we got stick for. We got beat by Luxembourg. We draw or beat us.
Oh, we lost. We bloody lost.
Yeah, we lost. Portugal only beaten 1-0 with their strongest team out a few days later, and it was a deflected shot from outside the box. So, like, it's hard going on that. I know any team well organized is difficult or whatever, but it's hard going on that so close to a tournament like this, and they've got their strongest team. It's hard to go on that to have much confidence in Portugal. And I just feel looking at them, Ronaldo plays, and he has and it feels like he has to play. And as good as he is and as brilliant as he has been, and you know he'll score goals for them, I just feel he's turned into now, at his age, sort of, I feel looking at the team, they know he's just a goal hanger and he's not going to try as a team. They're sort of carrying him a little, not carrying, but carrying him a little bit because he has to play. It doesn't matter what he does, he starts, he will get them goals, but he won't contribute anything to them defensively. And unless they put it on a plate for him, he'll have his hands up in the air. I feel he's dragging them down a bit.
Do you know what, though? You guys were both in the Premier League when Ronaldo was there, and never has a player been thought of as differently from the outside as he is from the inside. Teammates love this guy, and that's with every team that he's played with, but especially with Portugal. It's like, there does seem to be something. I know it's probably different now, and he's probably contributing even less than he ever has, but we've always watched Ronaldo and go, oh, he's selfish, he's this, that, and the other. But Gabby, anyone you ever talked to that's played with him absolutely adore him.
Yeah. I mean, you hear about when Rio Ferdinand talks about him and, you know, his teammates. Yes, they adore him. But I agree with Kevin in a way that maybe if Portugal had, you know, better players in that position as a striker, I don't see Ronaldo starts. If they had a younger prospect that was a good striker, I don't see Ronaldo starting. I see him more coming off the bench, you know, maybe after 60 minutes if they need a goal. Wow. But he just looked that character. He's not going to a tournament to sit on the bench. He's Mr. Portugal. He's the superstar of their history and their present. So he's going there to start no matter what. He'll want to get, you know, top goal scorer. He'll want to win the Euros again. You know, he's hungry for goals and trophies. So maybe if Portugal had a bigger manager, you know, they might not start him. So I agree with Kevin in that way that he won't add to the pressing to get the ball back. You know, he's going to be waiting to get the ball in the box and to get a shot off on goal.
Yeah, interesting. And it leaves us with poor old Germany. Yogi Love's last tournament of 402, I think this is that he's made now. But have they any hope of like somehow putting it together? There's still some players they've brought back in, all the old guys. Never a good sign, I suppose. We talk about England bringing in the young guys that didn't even help them get there. Germany are going the other way. I
know, yeah. You're always warned, aren't you, though? Don't discount Germany.
Never right
We're told it over and over again. Never discount the Germans. It's his last tournament. He's gone at the end of it low. He's been really successful. I don't know. I just think to have that experience, they brought back in somebody else. They have the experience. They know how to win World Cups. They know what to do. Do they have? They probably have enough to get out of the group. And then do they have the legs to get any further? You know, Asian team, it's difficult, games close together.
You still look at them, though, don't you, Kevin? You look at defence, you know, Neuer, Rudiger, been in great form. Hummels is a good defender. Gundogan, Sane, Gnabry, Havertz, Werner. You know, so they've still got good players, haven't they? So I think we can maybe like look past Germany, but if all them players click, that can be a big problem.
Yeah.
Bayern, best team, the best club team we've seen in a long time 2 years ago, and then you have Havertz, Rudiger, and Werner all won the Champions League then this season. So
yeah, they're so used to tournaments, aren't they? Getting together, they'll all know each other so well. Getting together. Listen, qualifying is nothing to them. It's listen, just get there. We're not interested in that. It's the tournament. They come together as a team then. So yeah, I wouldn't. I have them down finishing ahead of Portugal in the group. To be honest with you,
yeah, I agree.
Portugal. You think Portugal will qualify in third? Then they'll. I suppose you just have to beat Hungary.
Yeah, Hungary. Like we played them last night. Ireland did the game. Hungary aren't good, and they were terrible in their group. They qualified through the Nations League. They don't. You know, they won't pose any threat to those. Those teams won't be thinking of Hungary. No, it'll be all about themselves.
Yeah, they're unbeaten in 11 games, but we're talking about a completely different class of opponent this time. What a bloody group to be going on. You thought you had a bad group in 2012, Kevin.
Something similar, wasn't it? Our 2012 group had the two finalists, and what turned out to be the two finalists and the third place playoff winner. So
there you go.
Yeah, there's no excuse. You know?
Well, if that doesn't whet your appetite for the tournament, it all starts off on Friday with Italy versus Turkey, and there's loads more to come in Croatia at the weekend, of course. If you are looking to have a bet on Friday, Ladbrokes are giving you €1 5-a-side bet this Friday as the opening game of the Euros gets underway. Check ladbrokes.com from 10 a.m. each match day for other great offers. Of course, if you are having a bet on the Euros or anything else at all, please always gamble responsibly. Visit dunlewy.net for more information. Lads, I'm absolutely buzzing for this now. It's just over a day away. At this stage, just 2 days away, and then we've got a festival of football. We'll be talking to you about all the way through it. Thanks a million for being with us tonight.
Cheers,
Thank you. Looking forward to